Hi, everyone. I know there's only like how much people are here now. Okay, I think we're in a good place to start for now, but I think more people will be rolling in soon. So we can just begin with introductions. So remember last week I asked you guys to, instead of reading something, I wanted you to watch something in English. So for introductions today, I'll like call on you and then you can say your name and then the movie or TV show that you watched last week and then tell us what it was about and then if you would recommend it. So let's start with Chanuli.
Uh, I'm Chanuli. I watched watched a movie, uh, Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Mhm.
Uh, mm,
All right, and do you recommend this one? I would. I don't know. It was a pretty good movie. Okay, so I'll just say recommend it, and then can you tell us like in English like the plot of the movie?
uh, uh, that movie that movie about sorry teacher.
No, it's
I
okay. You can just give us like maybe just like main characters in the movie or like something
uh,
that stood out to you.
uh, that movie has three three main characters. Spider-Man. There are three Spider-Mans that in that movie,
Mhm.
uh, and a main actress. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. It's a good start. Thank you for sharing though. And I know like you were like the first one to be called on, so it's okay to be nervous. Let's see. How about Isudika, would you like to go? So just say your name and then the movie or TV show that you watched, and you can give us like tell us what it was about or like I guess the main characters and if you would recommend it or not.
My name is Isarika. I'm sorry, teacher, but I didn't watch a movie or a TV show.
No, it's okay. Did you like watch any news or anything? Or if you watched anything in Sinhala, you could tell us about that in English, maybe?
Can I talk about an article?
But yeah, absolutely.
I read an article about Children's Day.
Yeah, and then can you give us like a summary about it or and like maybe and something cool that you learned from it?
Children's Day start in the United States.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry. I guess. Okay, I don't remember it. Sri Lankan celebrated on October 1st. I'm sorry, teacher, I have nothing to tell about that.
No, it's okay. At least you gave us like the title of it. And then Darudini also has an article to talk about, so we could do that. I know probably not everybody got the message last week. So maybe I should do you guys all have Moodle? Maybe I can make like a Moodle reminder or something so it can like because I know that we usually do articles, so if not, we could maybe get that like set up after class. I don't know. If you do you know how if that'll work, Ramin, or no? All right, then let's do Bimba, would you like to share?
Actually, I didn't watch a TV show, but this week I participated in Children's Day Festival in my English class.
Awesome. And you want to tell us a little bit about that in English? Like what you guys did?
We did a lot of items as dances, dramas, songs, and orations, speeches.
Nice.
We did games and hot cakes and enjoyed a lot.
That's awesome. That sounds really cool. All right. I know not everyone got the memo last week, but it's okay. If you guys did watch like a Sinhalese movie or TV show, you could talk about that in English. I'll be okay with that for this week. But if you have watched even English news, you could share about it. Let's see. How about Asari, would you like to go? So just say your name and then the, I guess, movie or TV show.
Teacher.
Yep.
My name is Asari Semasingha. I read. I haven't done anything this entire week.
It's okay. Let's how about have you watched anything or maybe just an interesting activity you could talk about?
Oh god, my week is so boring. It's more boring than a blank plate of rice, to be honest.
Okay. Well,
I think a blank plate of rice is more interesting than this week.
Okay, that's fine then. Let's see. How about oh, I see Taradini is coming back. Tisan, would you like to share?
Teacher, I didn't watch a movie or
That's okay.
TV
If
show,
you
but I read an article about history of cricket.
okay,
Cricket had
I like
been played since the year 1844. This game of cricket was first introduced by England. Uh, Earlier, cricket was played between counties with teams owned by individuals. After it became more popular, it is spent uh, it is spent to North America from the English colonies. The first test match was between an England team and Australian in the year 1877. I have to talk. Cricket is the most popular sport among ASEAN countries.
awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. All right. Let's move on to our lesson for today. So last week we talked about prefixes. So this week we're going to talk about suffixes. And there are two main groups of suffixes that I want to talk about this week. So we have inflectional, which is just grammatical suffixes. So for example, changing something from singular to plural, adding the s or es at the end. I remember we learned about plurals like the week before last week. So those plurals, those would be considered suffixes. And even when changing like present tense to past tense, such as walk to walked, or yeah, so it basically inflectional or inflectional suffixes do not change like the actual meaning of the word. It just kind of changes like the the amount of like objects that we're talking about. So if it's like singular or plural, or like the place and time. So walk or walk versus walked. And then the other one that is more commonly thought about when talking about suffixes is derivational suffixes, which changes like the meaning of the word. So for example, the word teach would become teacher. And so adding that ER at the end changes the entire definition of that word. So and then like care versus careful also like changes the definition of the word. And let's see. So we'll go over the inflectional suffixes first. So these are just pretty simple ones. Again, remember they're just like adding stuff to the already existing word. They're not really changing the definition or anything. So for example, sorry, let me move this up. There you go. So for example, if it ends in S, that just means it's turning it into something plural. So dogs become, or sorry, dog becomes dogs. In that same way, like, let's see, like house would become houses. We just add like an S to the end. And then N is for irregular plurals, like ox turns into oxen. And we remember there was a ton of other like plurals that we learned about like the week before last week, and plurals in English are really complicated, so this doesn't cover all of it. This is just kind of like I guess just touching on like just the idea again that when we're changing something into its plural form, we are technically adding a suffix at the end. So for example, again, the S when like turns into likes, and then like we talked about before, the past tense where work turned into worked and walked turned into walked. So when we're referring things, when we're referring to things in the past tense, we would add an ed at the end. All right, and these are a couple more. So this is also to show or to describe something in the past. So similar to ed, en, like eat turning into eaten. And then this the ing suffix is just showing that it is continuous or like current, like happening in the moment, basically. So for example, if I say he is sleeping, that means he is currently sleeping. But again, like he is asleep would also, you know, asleep would also mean like the same thing, but just adding the ing to the end shows that it's happening in that moment. And then you have ER and EST. So these are basically comparative. Okay, the ER is comparative, and comparative just means basically what the word says. It's just a comparison. It's okay, Thardini, don't worry about it. You're good. All right, so for the ing, or sorry, not the ing, the er, it's just comparative. So for example, big, bigger, small, smaller. It is just a suffix that we'd add at the end of a word to basically show its comparison to something else, right? So you could say, my car was big, but his car was bigger. There you go. And then est means superlative, which means it is I guess like the most. So like big, like the biggest thing or the most big thing would be the biggest thing. So like I have a big house, but my neighbor has the biggest house on our street. So that means like, superlatives. It's just like the, I guess uh you know I guess largest possible outcome. So it's like, like big turns into the biggest, and then like let's see. I can't really think of another example for EST, but it just remember when you see it at the end, it's most likely referring to like, I don't know, something that is like it's just a superlative, basically. All right, let's move on to the derivational suffixes. And I'm sorry if I'm going kind of fast for this class because we have like a lot of topics to cover for suffixes. So for derivational suffixes, these are the more challenging ones. So like the previous ones we talked about were mostly just to change like it from plural. We have like the to show past tense, and then like comparative, superlative, and then to show when something's like happening. But derivational are different. Derivational suffixes are different because they change the actual like meaning of the word. So this suffix, the OUS suffix, is to show that it's like characterized or like by. So for example, jealous, religious, and ridiculous. These are all examples of derivational suffixes that show something is characterized by that by the OUS or the IOUS at the end. And the age suffix is to show an action or a process at the end. So for example, drainage, orphanage, marriage, salvage, and outage. These are all examples that will, or examples of age that kind of show an action or a process happening. So for example, like out by itself would, I mean, out can mean like many things, right? But like when adding the edge to the end, the AGE, from Castle, it could mean like a power outage, right? And so it completely changes like the original definition. So can someone give me like a short definition of the word out?
Exit or to get out of or leaving.
Yeah, to exit or leave. Whereas like an outage, like it can mean, well, wouldn't necessarily mean like exit or leave. It could mean like, for example, in a power outage, people will use the word outage. It's just to mean to that like lacks something, right? So as you can see, like this derivational suffixes change like basically the entire definition of the word. And there's not exactly like rules that you can follow for these suffixes. These are just things that you should know. And like because they change the outcome of the word, but again, like they have their own definition. So for example, like drain versus drainage, if we take right, so drainage would probably be like a drainage system. So like basically a sewer type. So we go like a drainage system, so like a sewer. But then a drain, again, it could also just mean like if someone could drain you of your energy, or you could say like even a shower drain, right? So as you can see, like the usage of the words change drastically, but knowing like I guess what the suffix means, so like it's an action or process, right? So for example, like it is like for the outage, we're using this in to describe like something, or like basically something that's occurring at that moment, like a power outage, to show, I guess, an action or a process. But like again, this is it's not like, don't think of it as like two words combined. It's just one full word with that but that end, like edge, adds, I guess, a special meaning. So these are like a little more complicated than our previous class on prefixes, because prefixes were just adding something on to a word. So another thing is al, which is pertaining to. So this is, for example, fiction would become fictional, region would become regional, music would become musical, and then accident would become accidental, and then logic would become logical. So for this one, can we think of any more examples? So like for example, fiction turning into fictional. Yes, Sasori, go ahead.
No, I was about to ask a question. What is the meaning of pertaining? The word pertaining.
I guess like relating to, I think is like the closest thing I could think of. So like if it's fictional, pertaining to, you can basically just means like related to. So like fiction turning into fictional. Something fictional is still like related to, or pertaining to, or like related to the word like fiction. All right. So can we think of any other words that use the suffix al at the end?
Graphical.
Yeah, perfect. Graphic. mm,
Rhythmical.
Oh, rhythmic for that one. I didn't know that wasn't a word, but I think it is. It has the ICL though at the end. Well, okay, I will put this to the side. It is still pertaining to, but we're not using the AL format for this one. All right, can you think of one more example before moving on?
Magical.
Yeah, magic into magical, perfect. All right, awesome. So wise is in relation to. So let's see. So other would become otherwise, and then we have likewise, clockwise, weatherwise, and crosswise. So these ones, again, they're similar to these in that they're like related to the other word, or related to like the um not the suffix, but like the main portion of the word, right? So for example, clockwise, like turning clockwise or counterclockwise, that's in relation to a clock, right? And we don't always have to refer to like when we're using the word clockwise, we're not always referring to a clock. So for example, you can say and I'll just use this in a sentence, but I asked her to turn around clockwise. That means I'm asking her to like basically just
Yes.
turn. Sorry, go ahead.
Right. Turn right.
Yes. Yeah, but yes, we're turning right, but like basically
Turning
yeah,
right in a
so
circle.
around yes. Basically, thank
Teacher,
you. Yeah.
excuse me. Can you use the word crosswise in a sentence? I do not know. Crosswise.
Crosswise. I'm not sure. Hold on. I'll have to let me search this up because I'm not too sure about this one. I've never used it in a sentence. So that's like,
Neither I have heard of that word.
let's see. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, so like cutting the potato crosswise. So I'm assuming it's made mostly just like for diagonal cuts or diagonal. Let's see. Yeah, I just in the form of a cross is essentially what they're saying. So like, I guess, do you know how like pies have that little they have this like, this would be crosswise. This would be a crosswise shape.
Oh, I see that every day. So that's like
Yeah.
a weave of sorts.
More like overlapping each other. Like I guess you could think of like yeah, basically just a cross sign. It just crosses over each other like that. So if I say like I don't know, this word isn't really commonly used, but like cut something crosswise, then you would just be adding those little crosses when you're cutting.
Okay.
So yeah. All right. Well, good question. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, we're already on half an hour, so we might have to speed through these next couple ones, but it's okay. So the next suffix is ity or t, which just talks about the quality of. So basically valid, or sorry, so we have extreme turning into extremity, adding the ity at the end. I guess like if we were going to use these in a sentence, so let me read out the examples first, and then we'll talk about the sentence examples. So, for example, we have extremity, validity, enormity, veracity, and security. So for extremity, so if something is extreme, like you could say we have a hurricane in Florida right now, so we could say the hurricane is extreme. Actually, is that let's do, yeah. And then like an extremity would kind of be let's see. If anyone can think of an example before I can for the for using extremity in a sentence, please let me know. We could do let's see. Like maybe the extremity. In my city is rising. There you go. So we're talking about, in this case, the quality or the quality of, or like the amount of violence in the city is extreming. I mean the violence in the city is rising extremely. Basically, is what we're trying to say. The extremity of the violence, or like I guess the amount of violence in the city. All right, and then in that same way, you could apply to like secure and security. So like the security here was great. We're basically using it to describe the quality of the secureness in an area. Yeah. Okay. And then the next suffix I want to talk about is ness or ness, which is just a state of being, which means like heavy would become heaviness. It is just happening in that current state. So high would become highness, sick would become sickness, rude would become rudeness, happy would become happiness. So can someone give me let's do like 2 examples for ness. So it's just a state of being. Can you type that out in the chat, please? Sorry. I know there's a lot of wind in the area.
Clean become cleanliness.
Yeah, perfect. We have cleanliness.
Sad becomes sadness.
It's lagging a little bit, so it's harder to understand. If you want, I'm okay with taking like just typing it in the chat and I'll read it out. I know that the connection is bad in some areas. It's okay. Let's see. All right, let's move on to the ship suffix. So ship is just a position that's held. Basically is what the suffix is adding to the definition. So friend would become friendship, hard would become hardship, intern would be an internship, and then citizen, citizenship, member, membership. So it's just a position that is held. So a friend would be someone who's in a, I guess, friendship with you, right? So let's see. Let's do one example for this.
Scholarship.
Yep, perfect. So scholarship. All right. Good job. All right, so the next suffix I want to talk about is the ISON or TION suffix. So they're both pronounced shun. So for example, position, promotion, cohesion, affection, and ambition. So these are both pronounced the same, but and they just mean a state of being. Again, this is pretty similar to our position held. However, yeah, it's pretty similar. I mean, like it's essentially the same definition. I mean the same I'm not sure how to like the suffix basically adds the same meaning to the word. Yes, so someone gave an example in the chat situation. It's a really good one. Baudini, thank you. All right.
Protection.
Yeah, perfect. Protection. All right, and the other examples we have on the side are like position, promotion, cohesion, affection, and ambition. So you guys seem to get this really well. Let's do 8. So 8 is just to become. So or maybe becoming. So for example, mediate, collaborate, create, eradicate, and detonate. Can we think of another example for a suffix or a word with the suffix 8?
Educate.
Perfect, yeah.
Decorate.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Decorate.
Yeah, perfect. All right. Those are good examples. Perfect. All right. So full is just means, I guess it adds that something is noted for that. So for example, if someone is, oh yes, oh sorry, we have another example for this one over here. Intermediate. Thank you. Intermediate. Perfect. All right. So we for the full suffix we have handful, playful, hopeful, skillful, and thankful. So for example, if someone is always like helping out, you'd call them helpful, right? So it's just it just means that person is like noted for that, right? Or yeah, so for example, joyful. So if something is
Colorful.
particularly extra joyful, yeah, or extra joyous, we'd just call it joyful, or like colored. It's like super colorful. Oopsie. Colorful. There you go.
Needful.
Yeah, so beautiful. The joyful, colorful, beautiful. These are really good examples. All right. The next one I wanted to talk about is oopsie. Is oh, IC or ICAL. So we had a previous example up here. So I'm just gonna pull this from here and then copy it over. Same thing with I believe. Oh, sorry. Oh. Yeah. All right. So this suffix is basically just having the form of the like the main portion of the word. So for example, if something pertains to psychology, it would become psychological. If something is like is contains like a lot of hypocrisy, it would become hypocritical, right? Same thing with methodical, like if the person is very uh I guess, specific and like follows a routine, there would be a methodical person. Nonsensical, it just it's something that has a lot of nonsense would be considered nonsensical. Um yeah, so in that same way, like something that has like a lot of music would become a musical, right? So let's think of another example, and yeah, something with rhythm would become like rhythmical. In the chat, electrical. Actually, I think the electrical would pertain more to let's see, I think it was up here, or AL right here. So it pertains to electricity, right? So electric would become electrical. So that would be a great example for AL. Right, let's think of actually
graphical.
For the graphical one, that would also be that was also a good example for the AL. So it's just pertaining to or pertaining to the like graphics.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, I know English is really weird. So Sorry, you have to, you know, the more you practice, the more you'll understand the language. All right, let's see.
Cool.
The next one I want to talk about is the IVE suffix. Yes, topical is also a good one. I'll put that up in here. Topical. So topical. Okay. Next one I want to talk about is the IVE suffix, or having the nature of. Okay, for a lot of these suffixes, like I think you're probably starting to notice that a lot of it kind of some of them, this doesn't apply to all suffixes, but some of them just, I guess, enhance the or sorry, are just related to the main portion of the word, right? So like which is why we like fiction versus fictional. It just kind of relates to like the main portion of the word. But again, some suffixes don't have to be like a part of another word. So like for example, like pious, like just the word p isn't it by itself wouldn't like necessarily mean, you know, what we like, or like for example, it's not like related to. So like adding the OUS doesn't mean that it like is related to P now, right? It's just it's not necessarily how it would work. So like pi is like it's like just the 3.14, like the thing that we already know. But P is doesn't mean that it's pertaining to like the number pi. So it's yeah. So again, it's like it's pretty complicated. It's just like something that takes a lot of practice to get used to. Let's see. We have another example,
These
positive.
words, teacher,
Yes.
excuse me, teacher. These words
Yeah.
actually get rid of the gets rid of a few words in the end, right? Few letters.
Yeah.
from
So
the
like
end.
so like for example,
Inquisition,
information.
inquisitive,
Yeah. So
informative, yeah.
yeah. So these ones do get rid of a couple words at the end. It's similar to like this one and this one as well. So like you know, for psychology, it gets rid of the Y and then adds just the ICAL at the end. And here is, so for this one, it does the same thing. But again, this the IVE just means it has the nature of. So if something is just, if someone pays attention a lot, they're just an attentive person, right? So we have inquisitive, informative, attentive, abortive, and active. Yeah, so we have some good examples in the chat. We have positive. Can someone give me
Creative?
another example? Yeah, exactly. Creative. If someone likes, sorry, one more time.
Attractive, objective.
Yeah, attractive, objective. Yeah. These are really good examples. Perfect. All right. We're on this one now. All right, so less just means without or like lacking. So so something with if you take the word meaning and add less at the end, so meaningless, it just means that that thing loses meaning. So without meaning, right? Hopeless, without hope, like homeless without a home, a mindless without a mind, spotless, you know, without spots or like clean. So can we think of a couple examples? This is like one of the easier suffixes because this one's really straightforward. Yeah, so endless. So if there's no end in sight, endless.
Helpless?
Yeah. Helpless, and then we also have mindless. Yep.
Useless.
Yep. So if something has no use, it would become useless. All right, perfect. All right, we just have a couple more to cover now. Nice. Okay. All right, so sorry. The ly suffix is just related to slash like shows the quality of. So again, like a lot of these suffixes, like having the nature of, for example, like what was it? One of them, like yeah, like the quality of, pertaining to. Like, see, a lot of these are mostly like related to the, I guess the main word that it derives from. So like soft would become softly, slow would become slowly, happy would be happily, crazy would be crazily, and then mad would become madly. So in some of these, they take away like the last letter of the word. So for happy and crazily, the y is omitted and then replaced with ily. Right,
Why?
so yeah, so wisely. Yeah, why is it totally, I guess, yes, wisely. And
Swiftly.
yep, swiftly.
Really?
Mm, really? Let's see. I'm not sure if that would be considered. I mean, it does have the suffix ly. However, I don't, let's see. I'm not completely sure if this one would count as a suffix, but I mean, it is a part of the word. So I'll just put that in parentheses for now, and then I'll see if it is. But while I do that, can we check other, or can we come up with more examples, please?
Quickly.
Yeah, perfect. Let's move on to the next one. Next one is ward or wards. That just is to show the direction of something. So towards, afterwards, backwards, inwards, and then outwards. All right, let's do a couple of examples of that.
Upwards.
Perfect. So
Forward.
this is based, yeah, this is just to show directions of something, right? So upwards, forwards. Right, perfect. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Rewards?
Sorry, I couldn't really hear you properly. Oh, I forgot some in the chat as well. All right, we've got a couple for the ly. So like quickly, poorly, loudly. Those are really good examples as well. All right. The next one we're going to talk about is the meant, which is just a condition. So enchantment, argument, achievement, encouragement, and excitement. It is just, I'm sorry, like the condition of let's see. Oh, rewards. The words portion in this case wouldn't necessarily be a suffix because it's not like changing the direction necessarily. I think reward is just a reward is just like its own word. So it
Reward
doesn't,
is just an S at the end because the word in itself is reward.
it's reward, yeah. So it would just be adding the S at the end. The suffix words, it does change. Remember how suffixes do change, like the or derivational suffixes change like the definition of the word. So rewards would be good for like in adding an S at the end. So reward would become rewards, like that. So I understand the confusion though, because like it does have like the same ending sounds to it. So yeah, English is a really complicated language. It'll take some time to get used to, which is why like I really want to stress like the reading articles and you know, watching English media every week, because it's like gonna be like the one thing that'll help you like the most, just seeing how English speakers like interact with each other. You'll learn a lot from that. Okay, next one is meant. So we have enchantment, argument, achievement, encouragement, excitement. I think we had some examples in the chat. No.
Development.
Yes, development. Perfect.
Government.
Yep, government. All right, those are great
Treatment.
examples. Yeah, treatment. Great job. Wow, you guys are on a roll today. Good job. Okay. I think we just have time for one of these. Yeah. All right, let's just do this first one, and then after that we'll do some conversation practice, and then we'll talk about our plans for next week. All right. So let's see. Can someone give
Able.
me the correct suffix?
Able.
So
Portable.
dad brought.
As in portable.
Yep, perfect. Portable.
Beautiful.
Yep. The positioning of these are kind of awkward. I'm sorry.
Fearless.
Yep, fearless.
Hammered.
Yep, hammered. Remember that is a it was an inflection, or yes, sorry, right here, an inflectional suffix, right? It's just changing the past tense. All right, Grammy and I like to watch the birds.
Birds.
Yes.
Birds. All right. With this one. Bobby.
Ly.
Perfect. So Bobby badly wanted to ride his skateboard to school.
Homeless.
Ed.
So laugh. This is the
Able.
so preventable.
Helpful.
All right, that was really quick. So I think we have time for this one as well. So for the oh, this one's a little different. I mean, so they give us the word. Sorry, they give us the word right here. So and then we just have to add a suffix to that word to make it make sense in the sentence, right? So for like the first one, act would become.
Actor.
Yes, perfect. So if we add the or at the end, it would become actor. This man showed great
Heroism.
Yep.
Heroism.
Oh, sorry, it's a little big. There you go.
Musician.
Yeah, perfect.
Musician. Department.
Mhm.
Department.
Yep, good job. Mm,
Friendship.
Sorry. This is, hold on. There you go, department, and then real friendship, perfect.
Loneliness.
So loneliness is just a state of being lonely. We have spelled like lonely. Loneliness. I can't.
Li.
L-I-L-O-N-I-E-S-S, right? Yeah.
L.
I think that's the correct one. Yes. Yes. Okay. Loneliness. I spent my This one is the
Days.
inflectional. Yes.
Performance.
Perfect. Performance. So for this next
Elegant.
example, we would get rid of the T and then we would add,
Elegance.
yes, elegance.
Liar.
So lie would become liar.
Excitement.
Excite.
Let's try to speed run these last ones. You guys are
Speed.
doing really good though. Okay, excitement. And then what about alcohol?
Alcoholism.
Alcoholism.
Mathematician.
Yes.
Going for the 80% speed run.
One, two, three. Run.
Resistance.
There you go. Oh my gosh, no way. Spelled that wrong twice. This is so embarrassing. I'm sorry. There you go. All right, assistant. Yes, you guys can keep like reading it out because I'm the one holding you guys behind right now.
Assistant.
Yes, assistant.
Assistant.
All right, keep going, keep going. You got this. The assistant. What's the next one?
Boredom.
Yes. Boredom.
Creativeness.
Creativity.
Yes.
Creativity.
Creativity.
He wasn't afraid of hands.
Freely.
Freely.
Healthy.
Yep, perfect.
Poorness.
Yeah, we could just poorness. I mean, like poverty, same thing, yeah.
That's an entire different word, isn't it?
Healthy.
Yeah. We'll just be using poorness for this one. But I mean, it's not, most people would just refer to it as poverty in this case.
Yeah, as in the sentence.
Yes.
Intelligently.
Yes, perfect. There you go. Good job. You guys are really good at this. Okay. Let's do some conversation practice. We only have 2 minutes left of class though, so let's just do one person for each one. There you go. So let's do, does anyone have an answer to the first question? So how would you deal with stress? Like, do you guys, I don't know, watch movies or hang out with your friends or something? Okay, someone's in the chat. Okay, Asari said, I don't know, I've never had it. So Asari has never had stress. Just don't feel.
Honestly, the secret is, I don't know. I just never take anything as seriously as other people.
There you go. Asari, don't feel stressed.
Just don't
let's-
take as seriously as everything you do. Just
Okay.
that's my answer. If you're doing or working on an assignment, just don't think your life just depends on it or you're going to die or something. Then you're going to be stressed and you're going to mess up.
That's actually
Even
okay,
when I'm shooting, I am shooting.
Mhm.
I do that as even when you're just taking the target, you just don't take it as much as stress on yourself. Otherwise, you're going to start shaking, sweating, and stuff. So just don't think
Okay,
about
I
it
like,
as hard as you do.
that's actually a nice philosophy to go by. Okay, thank you for sharing. You know what? I think I'm just gonna use that as our only example. There you go. Cool. Okay, what about Actually, I think we might just skip this one. You guys can think of it in your head.
My name.
All right. Yes. I think all your names are really cool, so we don't really need a nickname. All right. So homework. We do not have class next week. It's on the 9th. So if you show up, no one's gonna be here. But the thing is, since we do have a long break, I want you guys to use the next 2 weeks to improve English. Don't just like drop English media or articles or anything. I want you guys to like keep up with it, because like this language takes like time and dedication, because it is complicated. So just keep watching, like, again, English TV, have as much English conversations as possible.